record it.
My face.
Okay, lesson 35. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Yeah, please read.
Okay. Today's idea does not describe the way you see yourself now. It does, however, describe what vision will show you. It is difficult for anyone who thinks he is in this world to believe this of himself. Yet the reason he thinks he is in this world is because he does not believe it. You will believe that you are part of where you think you are. This is because you surround yourself with the environment you want, and you want it to protect the image of yourself that you have made. The image is part of this environment. What you see while you believe you are in it is seen through the eyes of the image. It is not vision. Images cannot see.
Hold on right there. So just for definition, vision is Christ's vision, seeing sameness. My image is having differentiators, having separate identities, the ego, Meredith, or whatever your ego's name, which also is the definition for persona. Remember, the person is a mask. And also hypocrite. Remember, that was the main thing that you were attacking, is you were being a hypocrite, she was being a hypocrite. We must demolish the hypocrites. That also means actor. The original word is one who pretends to be something else. And so all of this is saying the same thing. Verse 3.
The idea for today presents a very different view of yourself. By establishing your source, it establishes your identity, and it describes you as you must really be in truth. We will use a somewhat different kind of application for today's idea because the emphasis for today is on the perceiver rather than on what he perceives. For each of the 3 5-minute practice periods today, begin by repeating today's idea to yourself, and then close your eyes and search your mind for the various kinds of descriptive terms in which you see yourself. Include all the ego-based attributes which you ascribe to yourself, positive or negative, desirable or undesirable, grandiose or debased. All of them are equally unreal because you do not look upon yourself through the eyes of holiness. In the earlier part of the mind-searching period, you will probably emphasize what you consider to be the more negative aspects of your perception of yourself. Towards the latter part of the exercise, however, more self-inflating descriptive terms may well cross your mind. Try to recognize that the direction of your fantasies about yourself does not matter. Illusions have no direction in reality. They are merely not true. A suitable selected list for applying the idea for today might be as follows. I see myself as imposed on. I see myself as depressed. I see myself as failing. I see myself as endangered. I see myself as helpless, victorious, losing out, charitable, and virtuous. You should not think of these terms in an abstract way. They will occur to you as various situations, personalities, and events in which you figure cross your mind. Pick up any specific situation that occurs to you, identify descriptive terms or terms you feel are applicable to your reactions to that situation, and use them in applying today's idea. After you have named each one, add, but my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. During the longer exercise periods, there will probably be intervals in which nothing specific occurs to you. Do not strain to think of specific things to fill the interval, but merely relax and repeat today's idea slowly until something occurs to you. Although nothing that does occur should be omitted from the exercises, nothing should be dug out with effort. Neither force nor discrimination should be used. As often as possible during the day, pick up a specific attribute or attributes you are ascribing to yourself at the time and apply the idea for today to them, adding the idea in the form stated above to each of them. If nothing particular occurs to you, merely repeat the idea to yourself with closed eyes.
My mind is a part of God's. I am very holy. The course of story, it lays it out as there is a tiny mad idea that what it would basically be, what would it be like if I were separate, if I could have a separate life, if there was a separate world. And then at that point there is what's inferred as the decision maker. And the decision maker, what it is, and it's not you, by the way, it's not Jevon, it's not Carl. The decision maker is not the personality. The decision maker is consciousness. I don't know. It's the one that can make the decision. And there's only two choices. And it goes back to love or fear. And then you got love, connection, friend, sameness, and fear, separation, guilt, shame. And you get two different experiences, two different worlds. And there's the decision, the ultimate decision, and that created the universe that we know of separation. But then that's the big one. That's the big bang. But then there's also the decision that we can make throughout this, that is calling us to make again, of will I see sameness or difference? Will I see friend or enemy? Will I see separation, guilt, or will I see unity and love or fear, basically, in every moment? With that is what it's asking you to do, is go back to the perceiver and choose love instead of fear. And when I'm saying, our conversation before, when I'm saying it's not authentic, you've already chose separation, because what is authentic? The only thing that could be authentic is something that can't be authentic, right? We're in this world of duality already. And there's a choice to be made before that, which seems like what Denise was pointing to was defenselessness. There's no need for defense because there's nothing to defend. It's okay. She's okay. Obviously, you're upset. Now her upsetness, when it becomes my upsetness, well, now that's my upsetness. It's like, okay, well, obviously I can't help your upsetness, because all I've done is create my upsetness with your upsetness, and it becomes we end up only not, well, for me, you can't really can't control Layla, but what can you control? Turns out I can't really control Jevon. I've been trying for a long time. And so the whole work ends up being, what's my intention? My intention is love, or my intention is fear. I can't even choose it, actually, very well or at all. But what's my intention? And then what happens after that is the catalyst. And the catalyst is just going to bring up the stuff, not that you can win or lose, but bring up the stuff that you can once again release. And the whole game is just about releasing. There's nothing to accomplish. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to, you can go through all the temperaments. There's nothing to be right about. There's nothing to serve and be accepted because you're doing good. There's nothing to achieve. There's nothing to be unique. There's nothing to learn. There's nothing to new experience to have fun with. There's no battle to win and to defend the innocent. There's nothing to mediate, right? So everybody can get along. I mean, it's like all of it is the same racket of, now I have to do something and do my thing and get it right or get it good. There's only release, because there's nothing to defend, because I'm already okay, because I'm already innocent, because I'm already home, because I'm already complete, because I'm not Jevon, because Jevon is none of that.
And this brings me back again to Denise, are you familiar with the lady who wrote Eat, Pray, Love?
Yeah.
With Gilbert, she did a talk on divine versus profane masculine, divine versus profane feminine, and how she, like, the reason for like her very first marriage and how it all ended was because she was giving, listening to all these male spiritual teachers, Jesus, Buddha, all about just giving and not really knowing yourself, like allowing yourself to be just trampled on by the profane masculine. And it's like, if I was a man, I could just, but I feel like I'm at this part where I'm like, at least according to her message, you need to, like, for the divine feminine to express itself, like, you need to know yourself. Like, that's a profane masculine all day, every day. Me, mine. I'm gonna, but profane feminine is not that. So it's like, I don't want to do, like, that's the last thing that I want is to get stepped on and like be boundaryless because I'm a woman. So, and a Cancer rising at that, very motherly. Anyway, yeah, what do you have to say?
Well, the only reason that we would defend ourselves is because we believe that we've been attacked. And so you've taken something personally. Are you familiar with Don Miguel Ruiz, the Four Agreements?
Oh, I thought the four agreements were a Buddhist thing, but
It's a Tao.
oh, okay.
It's
He's like
there's
Indian
another. Yeah.
mystic Indian, whatever that's called.
Yeah. Anyway, the Four Agreements, great book. Small book, just 4 things that you work on. And one of them is don't take anything personally. And the only way that we get upset about something is if we believe that it applies to us. Like we're taking something that somebody said or did or didn't say or do personally instead of being in a position of neutrality. Learning to be in a position of neutrality is unbelievably powerful, Sue. I think it's the most powerful place we can be. It cannot be faked. It can be processed. So you process yourself into a place of understanding that what other people do and say is not about me. And the only way that the only place that it would land in me is a place that already believes it to be true. In other words, a place that already believes that it's not good enough, or it's too much, or it doesn't belong, or it's too aggressive. If you already have a place in you that believes that, that will come to the surface. So that's why you work on those things, is because you want to get to a place of being neutral around everything that happens. And I guess you could hear it as being soft. I think it's strength, unbounded. Like, go ahead, try to offend me. You absolutely cannot offend me. You can't do it. So,
I don't
and
think
I was gonna say we have a neighbor that spent the first 4 years of us living here doing his damnedest to offend us. We're just like, come over and get a hug. Like, how? We knew that's not about us. That's about him. That's where all of his wounds are, and we're triggering all of them. And so, but that was for him to work on. It wasn't our business. Go ahead. What were you
yeah,
going
for
to say?
sure. No, I don't think neutrality is soft at all. It is that's exactly where I'm trying to get to. So I, I love that.
Well, the only way that I have found, and this is just my way, I mean, I'm sure there's many paths to it, is by addressing the wounds, the triggers. So if a trigger is there, first of all, good. Thank God you are having these experiences and you feel them, because we can't heal what we don't feel. So when they come up, it's our invitation to address those things directly, not the person that caused it, but the thing itself. And so we need these people, we need irregular, irritating people in our life. They're the gift that God has delivered to our doorstep to poke us. And we so we can say, thank you. I'm so glad you're here poking the bear, because this is a weak part of me, a wounded part of me that is being invited to be addressed. And you
And
get
then
to, and you turn it around. So whatever comes up, like I'm not respected, you can turn that around. I'm that wasn't about me. I am respectful or respectable. Um, I'm not too much. I am enough. Whatever those stories are that come up, you turn them around. Now, you may have a lot of evidence to prove, like a filing cabinet full of evidence to prove that you are what people have said you are, what your mother said you are, or what's being triggered. Don't look at that. Those are physical eyes. You want to look through the spiritual lens. And the truth of who you are, Sue, all day, every day, is you are love. That's all you are. You are love. And that doesn't necessarily mean that love is soft, or squishy, but it can be very direct. Jesus was very direct many times in his ministry. And that was his love coming forward to wake people up. Now, the way they responded to his aggression or anger, or however that was passion that was coming across, that was their business. That was on them. That had nothing to do with him. He was in a position of love, attempting to awaken them to the hypocrisy, right? It was the hypocrisy that he was addressing with being very direct. And they didn't wake up. But he
they
didn't do
weren't
anything.
ready.
They weren't ready. It was the ground that seed got thrown on was rocks, and there was no place for it to grow. And he knew that too. But he was also reaching the crowd around him. So there were many in the crowd that would have heard what he said. And for some of them, it would have landed, and they would have had growth as a result of it.
Mhm.
So you're not doing anything wrong, and there's an opportunity to be empowered in another way.
Yeah. It's important to know too that intending love, I think, is the game, but that's just the start of it. You intend love, and then you let go of the things that come up after that, because you can be a vigilante for what is good and then end up fighting all of the what's it called, what's the Arab nation called, like the people that come against Allah,
Insurgents.
because then they want to kill him, right? For God, you have to die because you're against God's will. Sorry,
Vigilantes.
Yeah, whatever, the non-believers. And so the real work is letting go. Like, even the beginning of the course says, hey, this is not a course to try to teach you love. It's unteachable. It's love is remembered, can't learn it, but because it's who you are. You can't relearn who you are. It is who you are. It's what you are. But what we can do, the whole purpose of the course, for example, or maybe all non-dual work, is to let go of the barriers. That's the game.
It's to remove the blocks to love, which are fear, which I would also suggest are lies. So when you address the lies that are the triggers that are causing you to react in certain ways, when you address those things, you're removing the fear blocks to love.
So every single catalyst, like what Denise just said, every time someone pokes the bear, you being the bear, everybody else being the poker, you're like, you could be like, oh, wonderful. There's something that I can release, another attachment. Because every time I'm attached to any outcome, that's a barrier.
Yeah.
It's just, who's holding it? The barrier. Me. It's me. I'm reading this book, a parenting book called Good Within, Good People. I forget. And the whole book, it's such a beautiful book because it's a book of change. You know, it's a book for the parent, not the kid. You know, and
Good inside.
good inside. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh.
And she's like, listen, your kids are they're beautiful and they have full capacity for emotion. They just don't have language, and they don't and they need a coach to be able to engage in this world. So stop trying to get them to not be kids. They're actually perfect with all their perfect emotion machines. They got them all. So be with them, and this is a work that you have to do, to be with them and stop trying to get them to make what they're doing is bad or make someone else bad so they can be better or get them to be somewhere else, or all the things that I do every day. And just be with them. Well, to be with them in all these conditions that I don't prefer, I have to let go of a ton of stuff. I have to let go where I want to be. I have to let go or forgive, you know, I have to release the inconvenience because I'm supposed to be doing something else. I want to be somewhere else. I want to do something else. I want you to be doing something else. All these things, release, 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 release. And then when I do, what I've found with my kids is I'm like, oh, this is actually really wonderful. Oh, I forgot that I was doing that other thing to be with my kid. And then I wasn't with my kid because I was doing this other thing. I was actually sacrificing the very thing that I was doing, all my work and all this building the family. I'm sacrificing being with my family to do this other thing to be with my family. It's insanity. I think that's how most of life is we end up sacrificing the thing that we truly want, which is peace, contentment, love, wholeness.
Very good.
Yeah.
We complete?
Yes.
Any
I
final
shouldn't
words?
be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised, but I feel like, yeah, I was surprised when I started reading this lesson, like how this applies so well.
Oh, dang, it gotcha.
So did you throw in the identity, you're attaching your identity to I am direct. I am loud. I am, whatever the narrative is. Those descriptive words, all those get lumped into that's actually what you are not. The truth is you are none of those things. You're not even a woman. Now, that's a little more difficult to wrap our minds around. I'm not a woman. I'm not a mother. I'm not a wife. I'm not a daughter. I'm none of those things. I am, and I am all of those things. I'm all of the everything. So understand anytime we attach our identity to something that is unreal, like I'm a mother, then I suffer over all the things that don't line up with being a mother. So then I can just let that go. I'm not that. I have worn a hat as a mother. I've worn a hat of a daughter. But ultimately, I'm none of those things. I'm not a spiritual teacher. I'm not a coach. Like none of that is real. But it's the mask I wear called Denise on Earth.
I know we're kind of going over on time, but like it seemed to me that the neutrality that we were talking about earlier, it comes from knowing yourself, like knowing what works for you and what doesn't. And maybe this lesson will kind of help me with that piece, because I do feel like that's the piece that, yeah, 'cause I would very much like to be able to jump to just seeing everything as neutral, and or seeing everything like detaching from everything. I'm very good at detachment. or Meredith is very good at detachment. But yeah, neutrality from, yeah, that very grounded, like what works for me, what doesn't. And then again, and also, yeah. There are all
So
these excuses.
that's more autonomy. So you're talking about autonomy.
Oh,
Autonomy is being my own person, governed by what is important to me and what I like and dislikes and that kind of thing. That's more autonomy. Neutrality is what the course talked about in the very beginning, where I'm the one putting meaning on everything. I've decided what the chair means, what the birds mean. I'm placing meaning on everything. The ego is a meaning making machine. And so it's stepping back from that. This has no meaning. This has no meaning. I'm placing the meaning on absolutely everything that I see with my physical eyes. But there is a meaning, and those meanings are meaningless. But there is a meaning that is a spiritual meaning that is it's back, sits behind the eyes. Excuse me. And we can experience those meanings um, through the spiritual connection with God. I don't know any of you guys's spiritual orientation or what words you use. For some people, God is a dirty word. But that's just when I connect deeply with God, I'm seeing life and the world and everything around me through the eyes of God. And that's always through the eyes, the filter of love.
Mm. Yeah, non-attachment and unattached can be different. Non-attached, being detached, a lot of people put that in the bracket of like, I don't care, whatever, but non-attachment, spiritually speaking, you're still going for stuff. It's just you don't have to have it a certain way. You can still go for exactly what you want. You can still be like full force, whatever personality you choose to be. Complete autonomy. I want this. Great, let's do it. Everything I can, pour yourself into it. But when it doesn't happen, you don't have to get bent out of shape, because the outcome isn't you. The outcome doesn't have to define your identity. You don't have to, your identity doesn't have to be defined as hypocrite or non-hypocrite, right? It's all perfect. You're like, it could all be, wow, how curious, interesting. I spent my life trying to get that. Didn't work. What's for breakfast? It could be like that.
I just wish I could have caught it better, like.
Oh, you're going to get another chance. Oh, the lesson isn't done.
Going around the mountain. We're all going around the
back
mountain.
around. Yeah, that's right. Going around the mountain. That's funny. Yeah.
Thank you both.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for your full
Thank you.
participation and vulnerability.
You're welcome. You talking to me?
Of course. I'm always only ever talking to you, Jevon.
That's it.
Okay, you guys. Blessings on your day.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye. Happy New Year.